Hello everyone, I'm Jamin from Aju University. Today I'm going to talk about our paper, Contrastive Vicinal Space for Unsupervised Domain Adaptation. The goal of this task is to train a model on a labeled source domain and generalize it to a labeled target domain which has different data distribution. Traditional method performs direct adaptation from the source to the target domain. However, this approach can be inefficient when it encounters a large domain shift. So instead of direct adaptation, we utilize mix-up augmentation for generate vicinal space between source and target domains. In this work, we focus on the predictions of vicinal instances in terms of self-training. Our motivations comes from the question that what are the dominant labels of the vicinal instances? For example, in this figure, the top one label of the vicinal instance should be the label of the domain with the higher proportion. So in the vicinal space, we expected that the left side instances would be predicted as cat and the right instances to be predicted as dog. However, in unsupervised domain adaptation, we observed that the label of the source domain is relatively dominant over the target's label. That means even if when the vicinal instance has a larger portion of the target image than the source image, that instance is still represented by the source label. And we also observed that this label dominance is changed according to the combinations of source and target instances. Based on our observations, we focus on the point where the label dominance is changed. This point has the highest entropy in the vicinal space because the predictions between the source and target classes are the most confusing. So we named this point the entropy maximization point EMP. So here, we aim to minimize the cross entropy on the point where the entropy is maximized. In addition, thanks to the EMP, we discovered that the dominant and recessive labels are switched at EMPs. So we can constrain that top 1 and top 2 labels should consist only of source and target labels in the vicinity of EMP. From these perspectives, we divide the vicinal space into source dominant and target dominant spaces and define contrastive space according to the EMPs. Here we solve a swapped prediction problem to learn from the predictions of the other view. Lastly, we define consensus space outside of the contrastive space to alleviate intra-domain confusion. Here we use two different source instances to impose perturbations to the target prediction. For the experiment with GradCam, we demonstrate our key observations in the vicinal space. One interesting point here is that EMP is the most confusing point, so it fails to emphasize certain classes enough. In this study, we investigated the change of EMPs according to the method. Before domain adaptation, we can see the EMP is biased to the target domain, which means the source domain is dominant over the target domain. After applying our method, the EMP is formed near the center of vicinal space, which is similar to the result of supervised learning. Here we compare the output predictions in contrastive space and consensus space. In contrastive space, the top 1 and top 2 predictions consist of source and target labels. However, in consensus space, the second prediction label is not the source label, but a label of similar class confused with target label. It implies that in contrastive space, we need to focus on inter-domain confusion. On the other hand, in consensus space, we should pay more attention to alleviate the intra-domain confusion. We also investigated the effect of our proposed method and showed each component is effective for domain adaptation task. In addition, our method achieved the compact clusters compared with baseline in TSNE plot. We have achieved the state-of-the-art performance on single domain adaptation and multi-source domain adaptation task. In this paper, we investigated the vicinal space in terms of self-training, and we raised the problem of equilibrium collapse of label and proposed three methods to solve it. Thank you for watching our video.